Hello, devoted denizens of daytime drama. It's us once again, your relentless chroniclers of heartbreak and high-stakes intrigue at TV Day's Drama Digest. We've braved the stormy seas of soap spoilers, dissected the juiciest love triangles, and wept over more resurrections than a zombie apocalypse. Today, we're plunging headfirst into the tempestuous waters of Days of Our Lives, DOOL, where loyalties fracture like fine china under a sledgehammer, and every whispered secret threatens to unleash an avalanche of devastation. Buckle up, because we're talking about Holly Jannings, that wide-eyed teen tornado of rebellion and resilience, and the seismic question rattling fan forums from coast to coast. Is actress Ashley Puzemis poised to bid farewell to Salem's sun-dappled streets? And if Holly bolts for the City of Lights, will a fresh face step into her stilettos, or does this spell the curtain call for one of DOOL's most compelling young heroines? Picture this: the dim glow of a single desk lamp in a cramped apartment on the outskirts of Salem, the air thick with the scent of stale coffee and unspoken regrets. It's late, too late for rational decisions, but perfect for the kind of soul-bearing epiphany that only a lifetime of DiMera machinations can forge. Holly Jannings, the once spirited daughter of the indomitable Nicole Walker, slumps over her phone, her manicured fingers trembling as they hover above the call button. Tears streak her mascara into war paint, a badge of battles fought in the shadows of betrayal. She's done. Utterly, irrevocably done with the poisonous web that is Salem. With a ragged breath that echoes the howl of a gathering storm, she dials the one number that still promises sanctuary: Mom. Not just any mom. Nicole, the phoenix of primetime passion, who's traded the viper's nest of Horton Square for the glittering boulevards of Paris. Mom. Holly chokes out when the line connects, her voice a fractured melody of desperation. I can't do this anymore. Salem, it's killing me. Please, let me come home. Let me live with you. Anywhere but here. And, just like that, in a heartbeat that could shatter glass, the fate of Days of Our Lives' most volatile teen hangs in the balance. Will Holly's plea yank her from the clutches of Salem's serpentine drama, leaving a void that demands filling? Or is this the prelude to a recast bombshell, where a new actress slips into Holly's skin like a ghost in a gown? As we peel back the layers of this unfolding saga, a cocktail of teen angst, maternal longing, and villainous unraveling, we'll explore every pulse-pounding possibility. Spoiler alert, the drama is dialed up to 11, and no one's soul is safe. To understand the magnitude of Holly's potential exodus, we must rewind the reel of recent episodes, where the once vibrant halls of Salem High and the dimly lit corners of the DiMera mansion have morphed into a pressure cooker of paranoia and peril. Holly Jannings isn't just any character, she's the beating heart of DOOL's Youth Brigade, a fiery fusion of her mother's cunning and her father's, Tate Black's, brooding intensity. At 18 or thereabouts, in soap years, Holly's arc has been a roller coaster of redemption, from the innocent child caught in Nicole's orbit of scandal to the defiant young woman navigating first loves, fractured friendships, and the ever-looming shadow of family feuds. But lately, Salem has treated her like a pawn in a chess game played by sadists. Enter Sophia. No, not the wise philosopher of ancient lore, but Sophia Ramos, the pint-sized powder keg whose arrival in Salem has been nothing short of cataclysmic. Sophia, with her doe-eyed innocence masking a core of calculated cruelty, has turned Holly's world upside down. What started as a seemingly innocuous rivalry over a crush, Tate, naturally, because in Salem no love story is complete without a black family twist, has escalated into a full-blown vendetta. Sophia's antics? Reckless doesn't even begin to cover it. We're talking forged texts that paint Holly as a stalker, whispered rumors that erode her social standing like acid rain, and, in a plot twist that had us gasping into our popcorn, the near-fatal sabotage of Holly's car brakes during a rain-slicked midnight drive. Holly's escape from that mangled wreck was nothing short of miraculous, her screams echoing through the downpour as she clawed her way from the twisted metal, bloodied but unbroken. But the scars? Those run soul deep. In the aftermath, Holly's nights have become symphonies of sobs, her days a gauntlet of sidelong glances and stifled whispers. Friends who once rallied around her now eye her with suspicion, thanks to Sophia's masterful gaslighting. Even her budding romance with Johnny DiMera, that smoldering scion of the DiMera dynasty, whose own heart has been a battlefield of exorcisms and entanglements, teeters on the brink. Johnny, with his chiseled jaw and eyes that could melt steel, has tried to be her anchor, pulling her into stolen moments of tenderness amid the chaos. But how long can passion withstand the poison? Holly's trust, once a fragile bloom, has withered under Sophia's relentless assault. "I feel like I'm drowning," she confessed to Johnny in a scene that tugged at every viewer's heartstrings, her voice barely above a whisper as rain pelted the window panes of the DiMera boathouse. "And no one's throwing me a line." It's this suffocating isolation that propels Holly toward that fateful call to Nicole. Nicole Walker, oh, how we adore her. The queen of comebacks, whose journey from tabloid vixen to Parisian powerhouse has been DOOL's most triumphant reinvention. Now ensconced in a chic left bank atelier, Nicole has carved out a life of quiet elegance, sketching haute couture designs by day, sipping espresso under the Eiffel Tower by night, all while nursing the wounds of her Salem exile. But motherhood? That's the unbreakable thread that binds her to the fray. When Holly's plea crackles through the line, Nicole's response is pure dramatic gold, a sharp intake of breath, the clink of a dropped wine glass, and then a mother's roar across the Atlantic. "Pack your bags, darling. The next flight is yours. Salem can rot for all I care, you're coming home." The imagery alone is cinematic. Holly, silhouetted against the flickering neon of a Salem motel sign, stuffing clothes into a battered suitcase with the ferocity of a fugitive. The hum of the airport shuttle, the sterile chill of the terminal, the final, tear-streaked glance at the city that birthed her betrayals. If this is goodbye, it's the kind that leaves claw marks on the soul. Yet, even as Holly plots her escape, the noose tightens around Sophia's neck, and oh, what a spectacle it promises to be. Sophia Ramos, that deceptively demure dynamo, has been playing with fire since her debut, her schemes a labyrinth of lies that would make Stefano DiMera nod in approval. Reckless? Darling, she's a one-woman wrecking crew. From spiking Holly's drink at a high school bash, leading to that infamous blackout and the viral photo that nearly tanked Holly's reputation, to anonymously tipping off the police about a fabricated theft ring implicating Holly's inner circle, Sophia's playbook is as audacious as it is abhorrent. But her crowning atrocity? The abandonment of that mysterious baby, a plot thread so tangled it rivals the Gordian knot. Flashback to the sweltering heat of a Salem summer night, the air humming with cicadas and unspoken sins. Sophia, sweat-slicked and wild-eyed, bundles the infant into a wicker basket and leaves it on the doorstep of the Horton townhouse like some biblical offering gone awry. The child's cries pierce the dawn, drawing a frantic Sarah Horton to the scene. Sarah, the steadfast surgeon whose own maternal heart was shattered by Xander's deceptions, scoops up the bundle with a tenderness that belies her steel spine. Tests confirm the babe's dire condition, malnourished, dehydrated, a tiny fighter against the odds. Sophia, watching from the shadows, bites her lip until it bleeds, her facade of concern cracking like cheap porcelain. But here's the detonator. Recent episodes drop the bombshell that the child isn't Tate Black's, shattering the narrative Sophia so meticulously wove to ensnare Holly in a web of jealousy and doubt. Tate, that brooding bad boy with a heart of misguided gold, had been led to believe the baby was his illicit fling's parting gift, a lie that twisted the knife in Holly's budding affections. Now, with paternity debunked, courtesy of a clandestine lab slip-up that has DOOL's writers cackling in delight, the dominoes are toppling. Doctor-patient confidentiality has been Sophia's flimsy shield thus far, those HIPAA chains binding Sarah's lips even as her instincts scream foul play. But Sarah Horton is no shrinking violet. She's a woman who's stared down kidnappers, battled amnesia, and rebuilt her life from romantic rubble. Whispers in the writer's room suggest that Sarah's moral compass is veering toward intervention, especially now that Sophia's trail of tears extends beyond the cradle. And let's not mince words, Sophia's sins scream danger to society. That botched brake job on Holly's car? It wasn't a prank. It was premeditated peril, a whisper away from vehicular homicide. In the dim-lit interrogation room of our imaginations, fueled by fan theories and leaked scripts, we can almost hear the DA's voice booming. Attempted murder, Your Honor. The evidence is damning. No legal eagles but even we at TV Days Drama Digest can spot the felony flags waving furiously. Sophia's exposure isn't a matter of if, but when, and the fallout? A bonfire of vanities that could consume half of Salem's elite. Amid this maelstrom, hope flickers in the form of unlikely allies, Chanel Dupree, Johnny DiMera, and the ever-vigilant Rafe Hernandez. Chanel, that sartorial siren with a spine of titanium and a wardrobe that could launch 1,000 Pinterest boards, has long been Holly's confidant, their bond forged in the fires of shared scandals and sisterly solidarity. When Holly first confided her fears over Sophia's sabotage, Chanel's eyes narrowed to slits of righteous fury. "Nobody messes with my girl," she declared, slamming her fist on the counter of the rebuilt body and soul spa, the steam from the sauna mirroring the heat of her resolve. Johnny, ever the romantic rogue, joins the fray with a mix of DiMera bravado and boy-next-door sincerity. His late-night stakeouts with Chanel, huddled in a nondescript sedan outside Sophia's off-campus apartment, binoculars trained on every illicit exit, read like a noir thriller scripted by Hitchcock himself. "We've got her number," Johnny mutters through gritted teeth, his breath fogging the glass as Sophia slips out under cover of dusk, her backpack bulging with who knows what contraband. Enter Rafe Hernandez, the cop with a conscience as broad as his shoulders and a history of entanglements that could fill a confessional. As Salem PD's top detective, Rafe's been sniffing around the periphery of Sophia's schemes, his badge a beacon in the fog of corruption. A tip from an anonymous source, Fan Bets, E.J. DiMera, hedging his familial bets, lands Rafe a dossier of doctored emails and tampered security footage. In a tense tete-a-tete at the police station, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets, Rafe lays it out for Chanel and Johnny. Holly's not crazy. She's a target. And if we don't move fast, that girl's ghost will haunt this town. They're packed? A clandestine alliance, piecing together the puzzle under the radar of Sophia's enablers. Clues mount like storm clouds, a discarded burner phone in a dumpster, a glitchy dashcam capturing Sophia's silhouette near Holly's garage, and that damning baby monitor feed Sarah, accidentally left looping on her laptop. The drama peaks in a rain-lashed confrontation at the edge of Lover's Leap, where Chanel corners Sophia mid-monologue of mock innocence. "The game's up, chica," Chanel hisses, her curls plastered to her face like a crown of thorns. Sophia's retort? A venomous laugh that chills the bones. "You think you can touch me?" Salem eats its young, and Holly's already half devoured. But cracks show, a tremor in her voice, a flicker of fear in those calculating eyes. The exposure clock ticks louder, each talk a hammer blow to Sophia's empire of deceit. No thread in this tapestry tugs harder at the heart than Sarah Horton's odyssey from healer to harbinger. Sarah, the golden girl of medicine, whose scalpel has saved more lives than her ill-fated romances have broken, cradles the abandoned infant like a talisman against her own losses. Naming her hope in a nod to the Horton legacy, Sarah pours her pent-up longing into midnight feedings and whispered lullabies, her sterile apartment blooming with baby blankets and burp cloths. But the revelation hits like a freight train, paternity tests, rushed in the hush of University Hospital's lab, confirm the child bears no black lineage. Tate's relief is palpable, a weight lifted from his Atlas shoulders. But for Sarah? It's a Pandora's box cracked wide. Doctor-patient privilege has been Sophia's lifeline, those sacred vows chaining Sarah's tongue even as alarms blare in her psyche. She's just a scared kid, Sarah rationalizes to Xander over a candlelit dinner at the Brady pub, her fork tracing patterns in her untouched pasta. Xander, that reformed rogue with a smirk that could charm serpents, counters with his trademark blend of cynicism and care. Scared kids don't ditch babies on doorsteps, love. And they sure as hell don't rig cars to crash. The internal war rages, Sarah's oath versus her outrage, confidentiality clashing with the clarion call of justice. What tips the scales? The near-death echo of Holly's accident, relayed in a hushed hospital corridor by a teary-eyed Marlena Evans. Sophia was there, Sarah, smirking, like it was all a game. In a scene that had viewers live tweeting through tears, Sarah confronts her reflection in the nursery mirror. The baby's coos a siren song of innocence. I can't let this happen again, she vows, her voice steel-wrapped in sorrow. Legal whispers swirl. In Ohio or DOOL's nebulous legal landscape, endangering a minor, especially one whose actions teeter on manslaughter, trumps secrecy every time. If Sarah breaks the seal, it's not just Sophia's downfall, it's a ripple that floods the Kiriaki's empire, drags Tate into depositions, and forces Holly to testify from Parisian exile. The stakes? Cataclysmic. Here's the gut-wrench. No matter how ferociously the forces converge, Sophia's unmasking may come too late to tether Holly to Salem's shore. The writers, those masterful puppeteers, have a penchant for 11th-hour twists. Think EJ's death that wasn't, or Sammy's endless returns. Holly's flight to Paris feels inexorable, a migratory bird fleeing winter's bite. Envision the airport farewell, Johnny's anguished embrace, Chanel's tearful toast with contraband champagne, Rafe's gruff promise of "we'll get her, kid." You focus on healing. The plane's roar drowns their voices, carrying Holly into the velvet night, Paris lights twinkling like distant stars of reprieve. But does she really leave? DOL history screams recast over retirement. Holly's arc, from child actor cameos to teen turmoil, is too rich to retire prematurely. Puzemis, with her luminous vulnerability and razor-sharp delivery, has infused Holly with a pathos that lingers. Her exit interview, hypothetical but oh so plausible, might cite creative differences or pursuing film, but fans sense the pull of fresh horizons. A recast? Inevitable, we'd wager. Imagine a newcomer with Puzemis's fire, but a twist of edge, perhaps a British import for that transatlantic tang, echoing Nicole's relocation. Pros: renewed energy, shocking reveals. Holly returns changed, with a mysterious bow or buried secret. Cons: the heartbreak of losing Ashley's essence, that electric spark that made Holly's breakdowns binge-worthy. Holly's hypothetical departure doesn't just hollow a role, it reshapes the ecosystem. Nicole, roused from Parisian repose, might storm back with Gallic gusto, her designs weaponized into a fashion-fueled takedown of Sophia. Tate, freed from paternity phantoms, could spiral into self-destructive splendor, his bad boy blues bluesier than ever. And Sophia? Her fall from grace could be DOL's villainous valediction of the year, handcuffs clicking in the courthouse glow, her final glare a promise of prison yard plots. Yet, beneath the spectacle, pulses a deeper drama, the cost of survival in a town where love is a loaded gun. Holly's flight isn't defeat, it's defiance, a young woman's roar against the machine. As she sips café au lait under Parisian eaves, sketching dreams unbound by betrayal, we cheer her sovereignty. Salem will endure. It always does, rising from its own ashes like a phoenix with a perm. But without Holly? It's a stage dimmed, a story starved. So, dear readers, we turn to you. Will Ashley Puzemis swan song silence Holly forever or usher in a recast renaissance? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.